In a world where digital infrastructure spans cloud services, mobile endpoints, remote workers,
Welcome to the African Excellence Hub. You don't have to become a data analyst or cybersecurity expert. If you are an African graduate looking for remote work, you may have heard the same advice again and again. Learn coding, learn data analysis, learn cybersecurity. Those are excellent careers, but they are not the only paths into technology. There is another side of the IT job market that many graduates don't hear about. Companies need people who can implement software, test applications, automate business processes, manage enterprise systems, document technology, connect different platforms, and help businesses use technology effectively. That is where these 10 career paths come in. And the good news is that several of these skills can also lead to freelancing, consulting, and eventually your own digital services business. Remote job data currently shows thousands of remote opportunities across Africa, with CRM appearing among the more frequently requested skills. Let's look at 10 opportunities. 1. CRM Administrator and Implementation Specialist. CRM means Customer Relationship Management.
A CRM system transforms customer relationships into real impact. It streamlines operations and drives measurable business growth.
Companies use platforms such as Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, and Microsoft Dynamics to manage customers, leads, sales, and support. As a CRM specialist, you might configure the system, create workflows, manage users, clean customer records, build automations, troubleshoot problems, and train employees. Why is this needed? A company can purchase a powerful CRM but still struggle to use it properly. Someone has to turn the software into a system that actually works for the business. That person could be you. Who hires? SaaS companies, consulting firms, marketing agencies, financial companies, e-commerce businesses, and startups. There are currently remote Salesforce administration opportunities in Africa. One South African remote listing advertises $2,000 to $3,000 per month for a senior Salesforce administrator. What should you learn? Salesforce, HubSpot, or Zoho, CRM workflows, automation, data management, user permissions, and basic integrations. 2. ERP, functional consultant.
An ERP system streamlines operations, boosting efficiency. It enables real-time insights, improving decision-making, and it significantly reduces costs.
This is one of the most underrated technology careers. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Think about systems such as SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft Dynamics. Instead of becoming a programmer, you can specialize in how a business department operates. For example, SAPMM, purchasing and inventory. SAPSD, sales and distribution. SAPFI/CO, finance. SAPPP, production. SAPPM, maintenance. Why is this needed? Large organizations need technology that supports real business processes. They need professionals who understand both. How does the business work? And how do we configure the software to support it? Current remote SAP listings in Africa include consulting roles, and job posting data shows demand for configuration, data migration, consulting, project management, and user training. Who hires? Manufacturers, banks, logistics companies, retailers, telecom companies, oil and gas companies, governments, and ERP consulting firms. Why I like this career? Once you become experienced, you are no longer simply looking for a job. You can become a consultant. and consultants can work on projects for different organizations. 3. Software QA and user acceptance testing. QA means quality assurance. Your job is essentially to find problems before customers find them. You test websites, mobile applications, payment systems, and business software. You learn test cases, bug reporting, regression testing, API testing, Jira, Postman Selenium, or Playwright user acceptance testing. Why is this needed? Imagine a fintech company launches an application. A customer tries to make a payment. The payment fails. The customer doesn't care which programmer made the mistake. They simply leave. Q. A. Professionals help prevent those problems. Remote job data shows active QA opportunities across Africa, including Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa. Who hires? Fintech companies, banks, SaaS companies, software companies, e-commerce companies, and technology consultancies. Career paths. You can start with manual testing and later move into QA tester to QA engineer to automation, engineer to QA lead. That makes QA an excellent entry point into technology. 4. Business automation specialist. This is a particularly interesting career for people who don't want to become traditional programmers. You learn platforms such as Zapier Make 8 and Microsoft Power Automate. Then you connect different business systems. For example, a customer completes a form. The system automatically adds a customer to the CRM. Then it sends an email. Then it creates a sales task. Then it notifies the sales team. Nobody has to perform those steps manually. Why is this needed? Businesses lose enormous amounts of time doing repetitive administrative work. Your job is to ask, can technology do this automatically? Then build the workflow. Who hires? Startups, agencies, e-commerce companies, consultants, real estate businesses, and SaaS companies. Freelancing opportunity. This skill is especially attractive because you can sell a business result, not simply a technical skill. Instead of saying, I know Zapier, say, I can automate your customer onboarding and save your team hours every week. That's a much stronger offer. 5. Technical writer and API documentation specialist. Technical writing is not ordinary blogging. A technical writer takes complicated technology and explains it clearly. You could create software documentation, API documentation, user manuals, knowledge bases, installation guides, help centers, technical tutorials, standard operating procedures. Why is this needed? Developers understand the technology. Customers don't necessarily understand it. Companies therefore need people who can translate complicated technical information into clear instructions. Current remote technical writing listings in Africa include roles focused on documentation, technical writing, and API documentation. Who hires? Software companies, SaaS businesses, developer tool companies, telecommunications firms, technology consultancies, and open source organizations. A powerful combination. If you understand technology plus writing plus AI tools, you can become much more valuable. AI can help you draft, but someone still needs to understand the product, verify the information, and make the documentation useful. 6. Revenue Operations Specialist. This is one of the least understood careers on this list. Revenue Operations, or RevOps, connects sales plus marketing plus CRM plus automation plus business processes. Your job is to help a company generate revenue more efficiently. You might manage HubSpot, Salesforce, sales, pipelines, lead routing, CRM workflows, sales automation, customer lifecycle processes, revenue technology. Why is this needed? A company can have excellent salespeople, but terrible systems. Leads can get lost. Customers can be forgotten. Salespeople can waste hours doing repetitive tasks. RaveOps professionals fix these problems. Current African remote listings include RevOps positions, including a remote Egypt role listed at 2,000 to 2,800 per month. Who hires? SaaS companies, B2B companies, technology startups, agencies, and international businesses. 7. E-commerce systems specialist. Don't simply learn how to sell on Shopify. Learn how the entire e-commerce technology system works. Learn Shopify, WooCommerce product catalogs, payment systems, inventory, shipping integrations, email, automation, customer support systems, Shopify apps, basic HTML, and CSS. Why is this needed? An online store is not simply a website. Behind the website are payments, inventory, shipping, customer service, marketing, and automation. Someone needs to connect all those pieces. Who hires? E-commerce brands, Shopify agencies, digital agencies, online retailers, and international merchants. Remote job data shows e-commerce specialists being hired across Africa, with Shopify among the most requested skills. Freelancing opportunity. You can offer services such as Shopify, store setup, Shopify, troubleshooting, product system configuration, e-commerce automation, store optimization that gives you both employment and freelancing possibilities. 8. API integration specialist. Here's a skill that can take you from basic automation into more advanced technology. API means application programming interface. In simple language, a P is allowed different software systems to communicate. For example, website to payment gateway to CRM to email system, or Shopify to inventory system to accounting software. You learn? REST, AP is JSON, webhooks, authentication, Postman API testing, basic JavaScript or Python automation platforms. Why is this needed? Businesses now use dozens of different software applications. The challenge becomes, how do we make all these systems talk to each other? That creates opportunities for integration specialists. Who hires? SaaS companies, CRM consultancies, e-commerce companies, fintech companies, startup and automation agencies. The opportunity. This is an excellent progression. No code automation to APE is to scripting to integration specialist. You don't have to become a full stack developer to become highly technical. 9. Enterprise software implementation specialist. This career is about helping a customer successfully adopt new software. Imagine a company buys a new business platform. Someone must understand the customer's requirements, configure the system, migrate information, test the system, train employees, launch the system, provide support. That person is an implementation specialist or implementation consultant. Why is this needed? Buying software is easy. Successfully implementing it is difficult. Companies need people who can bridge the gap between the software vendor and the customer. A current remote implementation listing in Africa shows a senior implementation engineer role involving deployment, training, and ongoing support. Another Kenya-based remote implementation consultant listing advertises 150,000 to 250,000 Kenyan shillings per month. Who hires? SaaS companies, ERP vendors, CRM companies, technology consultancies, and enterprise software partners. Long-term career. This can lead to implementation consultant to senior consultant to solution consultant to solution architect to project manager. 10. Localization and internationalization. Q, a specialist. This one is particularly interesting for African professionals. Localization means adapting technology for different countries, languages, and cultures. Imagine a company launches an application in English, French, Arabic, Swahili. The software may be technically functional, but still contain problems with language, currency, dates, names, addresses, cultural references, or user interfaces. That's where localization specialists come in. Why is this needed? Technology companies increasingly operate across borders. Africa itself contains enormous linguistic and cultural diversity. A professional who understands technology and local markets can provide something that generic global teams may not have. Who hires? Software companies, mobile app companies, gaming companies, e-commerce businesses, translation technology companies, and global technology firms. The opportunity you can specialize in: localization, QA, translation, QA, internationalization, testing, language testing, cultural adaptation. This can become a very specialized career. So, which one should you choose? Don't choose a skill simply because someone on social media says it is high paying. Choose based on the type of work you enjoy. If you like business and technology, consider CRM, ERP, RevOps implementation. If you like solving technical problems, consider QA, API, integration automation. If you like writing and explaining things, consider technical writing, API, documentation. If you like online business, consider e-commerce systems. If you enjoy languages, culture, and technology, consider localization, Kilasim QA. And here's the most important part. You don't need to learn all 10. Choose one. Spend the next 3 to 6 months learning it. Build projects. Create a portfolio. Get practical experience. Then start applying for remote jobs and offering freelance services. And remember this: don't sell yourself as someone who knows software. Sell yourself as someone who solves a business problem using technology. That is the difference between simply learning a tool and building a career. Current remote job data confirms that specialized roles such as CRM administration, SAP consulting, QA, RevOps, e-commerce and implementation are already represented in African remote hiring markets. Your degree may open the door. Your practical skill is what can keep the door open. And in the remote economy, the goal isn't simply to find any job. The goal is to build a skill that gives you options: employment, freelancing, consulting, international clients, and eventually perhaps your own digital business. Kindly join my membership for deeper understanding and IT pathway and portfolios.